All right, so this is problem number 5 on the Algebra Brush Up. So here's our equation right here. And let's start with the first step here. So our first step is going to be to distribute. So there's nothing to distribute on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side we've got this 8. We can distribute this 8. So that means I'm going to multiply 8 times n and 8 times negative 6. And you know what? Let's just change this to plus negative so I remember that's negative. And let's change this one to plus negative as well. So back to our distribution. Remember, distributing is the same as multiplying by 2 terms in the parentheses. So 8 times n gives us 8n. And 8 times negative 6, 6 times 8 is 48. So negative 6 times 8 is going to be negative 48 plus negative 5. And we didn't touch the left-hand side, so that's just going to come down, and I'm going to change this to plus negative 25. All right. So our next step after we distribute is to combine like terms. So let's look at the left-hand side. We've got 2 terms, one with an n, one without, so nothing there. And then on this side, we've got 3. So that means this negative 48 and negative 5, these are like terms. So we can combine those. So I can't do anything with that 8n, so that stays. And negative 48 plus negative 5, that gives us negative 53. And then we didn't touch the left-hand side again, so that's just going to come down. So the next thing we got to do is we got to get all the variables to one side. So we either need to move this 8n over here or move the 4n over here. I like to move things where there are the most. So I'm going to move the 4n over to the right-hand side. So the way I'm going to do that is the way to get rid of that 4n is to subtract 4n on both sides. So we're going to subtract 4n. So 4n minus 4n cancels out, leaves us with negative 25. And 8n minus 4n gives us 4n plus negative 53. So now that I've moved the n's to one side, now I got to move the numbers to the other side. So this negative 53 has to move to this side. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say, well, what's the opposite of negative 53? That's positive 53, so I'm going to add 53 to both sides. So negative 53, positive 53 cancels out, leaves us with 4n equals, this is a tough one to do for me, it's going to give us 28. So we got all the variables to one side, got all the numbers to the other, so now all we got to do is divide and solve. So I want this to be, or my end goal is to have this be n on its own. So we're got to get rid of that times 4, so we're going to divide both sides by 4. 28 divided by 4 is 7.